Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Rugby Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. You need orthopedics, go to Brock. You need a roof, you call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and Boatcock Brothers Premium Cigars, code MAT15, 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 15% off your order.
I stopped his backpack, but I didn't clamp him.
Okay. Apologies, I was, the camera wasn't so on my phone here. We'll do time here. Got to do 10 minutes. So, I'll just get to your questions and comments. So LSU fires Brian Kelly. We broke that story at LouisianaSports.net. Did a long live stream last night, Sunday night, telling you basically how the day all transpired. Would highly recommend that you check that out if you missed it. But I'll just try to get some of your questions, comments, etc. here while I got just a few minutes. So, I don't know why it's not letting me put comments on the screen. Anyway, this is a little bothersome. Juan, good morning. You said something yesterday, stuck with me. No one gives himself to his audience like you do. That is the truth. Thank you for that. Back. Thank you, Juan. Appreciate that, man. Craig, good morning. Devin, good morning. Thanks for yesterday. You got it, man. Yesterday was a long day, dude. Yesterday was a long day. I'm trying to put this down so I'm not holding and wobbling. That's not going to work. Oh, well. Is it 7? It's 7. I need to go stop Drew's backpack and stuff. Turn on the lights and everything. So, anyway. Hang on. This is what you all don't see normally. I'm gonna come turn off Drew's sound machine and then turn on the light to get him started a little bit. Okay. I probably should have done this just in transit, but all right, let's see. Jordan McNeese, Abner Neal, good morning. Aviator. Let's see. First two calls today, would be Dan Lanning, John Summerall. Two very different ends of the spectrum there. I mean, Lanning, obviously at Oregon, I'd be fascinated to see if you could get him away. I think you make that call. I don't know if he would leave, but I would make that call. Rooney, what's up? Stanley Reed, is Rhett Lashley a possibility? I did hear someone mention Rhett Lashley's name yesterday, but I think what's important to note is the difference between what is speculative, people throwing out names, and what is actually a name someone might consider. For all these coaches, it's important to note, like, they all have to decide, can you win a championship at your current place? Which, I think that was the answer to that question has changed dramatically here in this era. What if they hired Honey Badger? I don't think they'll hire Honey Badger to be the head coach. Let's see, Dax, SEC 80s only get to hire one football coach, right? Woodward is gone to Thanksgiving, probably. Who replaces him? Not exclusively. The one football coach deal, context matters a lot, but again, like I explained a lot on last night's live stream for those who watched, the governor has inserted himself in this to a large degree, and that is not a political statement. It's not a political commentary. It's not a pro or con against the governor, no matter how adamant I am that I'm not political and I don't care about red, blue, RD, whatever, you do you. Some of you still don't seem to get that, because people who are so their happiness in life is so interwoven with the political process, and having their person always be shed in a positive light. Anybody that says anything remotely negative, I got emails last night after the show, and people are like, "Your bias against Landry showing through." Like, I like Jeff Landry. I've met him. He's super nice. He actually was very complimentary of me and my show, and I didn't the first time I ever met him, and I think Jeff Landry's a very nice man. I've had some great interactions, and I think he loves the state and all the. I also think it's ridiculous that the governor is involving himself in firing a football coach. But that's a thing that happened yesterday. Like I've literally never heard of that. Even at LSU, where the governor got that involved in firing a football coach. I mean, you have an athletic director in place to do his job. Let him do his job. Anyway, has Charlie started pushing for Napier yet? Not that I know of. Let's see. Morning, Matt. I watched an episode of Blue Sky last week with the Ole Miss sports writer. They were talking about how nervous they were, and LSU's job came open, that Kiffin would jump on that. I don't know what Blue Sky is. I think there is a feeling that Lane does covet the LSU job. I'll also remind you that his defensive coordinator, Pete Golding, is from Hammond. And I believe there are people in Louisiana who spoke with Pete Golding yesterday about the LSU vacancy. Not to say that he'd be the head coach, but like, would Lane come? If Lane came, would you come with him? That sort of thing. I think, and by the way, that's not saying anything's offered. It's just to say, like, you start the process of vetting who might be interested. Nick Saban on a short-term deal. I'd love it. I don't think that's realistic. Jay Thompson, good morning. Casey Williams, what are your thoughts on Drinkwitz being the next head coach? I think he can do better. Morning, Matt. Where's the 115 million coming from? I have to break that down a little bit, right? So the 115 million, that's a number that was told me. It was some loose napkin math, right? But what it will cost to fire Brian Kelly, to buy out his staff, to hire a new coach, and hire a new staff. So where does that come from? Well, some of that you already have budgeted, right? For your coach and staff, etc. A lot of the Kelly buyout money will come from private donor dollars. And the other thing to keep in mind also is that with the new TV deal, college football playoff, revenues are expanding as well. So you're probably going to get to seeing LSU as a $300 million athletic department revenue. So anyway, man, there's a ton of comments, and I'm not going to get to them all here because I've only got like 8 more minutes. Let's see. Morning, Matt. Here's to a new beginning. Good morning, Matt. It's weird to have a lot of Lane Kiffin staff on our team. You mean, well, Austin Thomas, sure. And then Austin did hire another support staff member from Ole Miss this year, yes. Scone, how bad are the opt-outs going to be now that the season's essentially over? Yeah, Reed, it's a fair question. And I think it's a big reason why I think it's a big reason why Frank is the interim. I think there's a strong feeling that Frank will be able to keep the players love Frank and that they'll play for him. Chance LSU hired second black head coach ever, Frank, and fired the first black head coach, Brad, both interim. Easton Cersei, morning, Matt. If you had your choice, money not a factor, who would you go get for the head coaching job? Nick Saban. Let's say you don't spend the kind of money, then go cheap on another hire, but you could backload Kiffin's contract. It's one of the things we talked about on that live stream last night. Is someone mentioned that today that you could now you could try to backload a deal so as to say it would give LSU, the whole thing would still be guaranteed for the next coach, say it was Kiffin, but so as to give some relief on the front end, you backload the contract, so the person's still going to get all their money. It's just backloaded, so you get some relief in the front end while you're going through the buyout period. Insight on player reaction. Haven't heard much player reaction, quite honestly. I know they had the meeting last night at 8 o'clock. I was told Woodward spoke. Kelly was there and spoke. And Frank spoke. Christian, good morning. Hope you were able to get some decent sleep. It was a long day for you. Other local media. How many appearances are you already to make on other shows? I did an ESPN national hit last night. I just was on with Brian Haldane. I have Florida, Houston, Sirius XM, Crane and Company, Arkansas. I got a bunch today. Yeah. Travel Man, good morning. Frank C. Let's see. Morning, Matt. A&M is freakishly good. Could possibly be the best team in the nation. Also, it looks like it's shuck time. Yeah, the weird thing is, on any other day, yesterday would have been a massive Saints day because they benched Rattler for Shuck. It was just amid all of this. Let's see, is Frank's salary staying the same? Will he get a pay raise for the interim? He will likely get paid for the interim. Like, for example, I know when Les got fired and Ed was made interim in 2016, Ed got a bump, and then Steve Ensminger, remember, was made offensive coordinator, so he got an interim bump as the OC that year as well. Corey, good morning, Matt. Appreciate you, bro. I'm crying. Condon's losing it. I don't know what Condon's saying. Let's see, Jason Babin. This feels like an irrational decision with financial implications that could forever change LSU athletics. Now we can afford as Curly Hallman 2.0, especially with the governor conducting search. There's no doubt that this will forever impact LSU athletics. Anytime you hire a football coach, it does. That's just true. I'm willing to be patient and give it time and see where the process lands. But I agree, this was very reactionary. This was not a conversation that was being had before the A&M game. Matt, you went to practices. Did BL ever get his hands on with the players like Saban used to, or was there a huge disconnect? You know, was Kelly hands-on? Yeah, I mean, he would float and, depending on day, work with different position groups and all that sort of stuff. Swade Wilson, morning. Glad you don't let the hate posts get in the way of actually delivering great information. Your work is appreciated. Bubba Kansas, okay. Yeah, no, I don't. Look, man. This job, like when you do something public facing, there's always going to be people that don't like you or like what you do, and I just don't care. I'm good. Billy Ray Valentine, looks like LSU burning. I wouldn't say LSU's burning. I would say this is just what LSU is. It's what they've always been. It's a program that's about an average 8-9 win program that about every half decade pops a big one. And now in the last 8 years has fired his coach 3 times. This is kind of what you are. Bama is not a program that traditionally has celebrated close wins over Vanderbilt and Missouri. Did you have time to watch NFL yesterday? Not much, Brad. Tanner Sullivan, good morning. Thank you for all the content you provide. Sure, Tanner, thanks for being here. Let's see, ASU head coach. That would be interesting. Kiffin, Shepard, Drink, Brom, Lanning. Be interesting to see where they land. All the coaches mentioned so far have much lower floor than BK. BK may not win a championship, but these coaches could be 2-9 level. I will remind you, man, that Kelly did have a 4-8 season at Notre Dame. It was a weird one-off, but he was chugging along there, and then they had this year where they just kept losing close games, went 4-8, and then after that, subsequently, they had like 4 straight double-digit win seasons. It was just a weird bump in the road, and I wondered if this could have been that. I guess we'll never know. Patrick, the program is financially crippled. LSU is going to cost $100 million. This is going to cost $100 million in total. That's true. It will. Fans like Blake, fans like a reactionary move. Kelly had his flaws. He did stabilize things after Ogeron. Timing feels off. This one said, wasn't the governor forced to because of the lack of a university president? No. I'm telling you, I have covered sports for a long time. Athletic directors hire and fire. And the university president can hire and fire the athletic director. The governor being involved is weird. That's weird. I cannot ever remember that. Like literally ever remember a governor being involved in the firing of a football coach. Okay, I gotta go, y'all. I know, my apologies, but I gotta get Drew up and get him to school. So got a lot to do today. I haven't got to confirm yet, but there was supposed to be a press conference today around noon. Again, I haven't gotten it in my inbox yet, but it was supposed to happen today. So stay tuned for that. If when we get confirmation, AFR at 3. I know you're saying play the jingle, but I can't because I don't like the jingle is run through my audio board. And this is just on my phone, so there's no way for me to do it. I could sing it. I don't know, Thomas. I kind of feel like we deserve an exception today on the jingle. Like I can't play it. So you can sing. All right. You know what? I'll let you all decide. If we have to reset the count, we'll reset the count, but I got to go get Drew up. All right. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you for AFR 3. Hey, Locked on LSU, my reaction is